Sunan an-Nasai, number 4625. It was narrated that Jabir said, "A slave came and gave his pledge to the Messenger of Allah to emigrate, and the Prophet did not realize that he was a slave. Then his master came looking for him. The Prophet said, 'Sell him to me.' So he bought him for 2 black slaves. Then he did not accept the pledge of anyone after that until he had asked, 'Is he a slave?'" Now, watch how many things we can learn about the Islamic view of slaves from this one passage. First, the heading says that this hadith is about selling animals for different animals of different amounts or quality. Perfectly acceptable view in Saudi Arabia. Third, this hadith says that a slave came to Muhammad and pledged to leave his home and join the Muslim community. Muhammad accepted the pledge, but only because he didn't realize that the man was a slave. In other words, Muhammad didn't know that accepting this man's pledge was going to cost him something. Muhammad learned his lesson from this situation, and the passage says that after this, Muhammad would no longer accept the pledge from anyone until he asked, "Is he a slave?" So Muhammad really didn't want to have to pay to free Muslim slaves who were converting to Islam. Now, to be fair, it is considered a good deed in Islam to free Muslim slaves. But Muhammad just didn't want to keep paying out of pocket, so he decided to be more careful to ask whether they were slaves before accepting pledges from them. Fourth, Muhammad owned black slaves. If he bought a slave with 2 black slaves, he obviously had black slaves. And we've seen in other videos that Fifth, the slave who made a pledge to Muhammad was an Arab slave, and Muhammad traded 2 black slaves for 1 Arab slave, suggesting that black slaves were considered less valuable and were therefore cheaper than Arab slaves. Hence,